Hey guys, been out here for a little while now. This is my tiny little pallet cabin. All of the wood has been taken from old pallets. I think I bought one board for this whole thing. I bought a 12-foot 2x4 just out of time saving. I didn't want to go find another 12-foot pallet to make one of the headers up here for the roof riser. I left this front wall undone so far. It's still a work in progress. It's not finished in here, but you can see I did the spray foam insulation. Like I said, all this wood except for the plywood. I did have to buy plywood for the floor and for the roof. This door that I made here was just out of a piece of plywood that I found too. I tried to make it a little bit nicer in here. I put some of that Lowe's coastal cedar wood paneling in here. As you can see, I still got to trim it up, and some things aren't perfect, but it's coming along nicely. I did some paneling on the ceiling. As you can see, I kind of botched that up a little bit because I had to put drywall screws in it. Nails weren't working. The boards that I used were some weird like 2x3 boards from pallets. They were really strong, which is why I wanted to use them for the roof rafters, but it was also really hard wood, so the only way I could get in there was with some nice short coarse thread drywall screws. But I did the rafters like that because there's a lot of trees right around me, and God forbid, natural occurrence, if a tree fell on me, I'd have a half a chance of surviving in here, which would be pretty cool. That front window right there is actually the top half of a door that we found all half burned up, so we just chopped the bottom half off and framed it in. This window right here I actually did buy off of Facebook Marketplace from a guy. He had it brand new in his garage. I bought it for 40 bucks, came with a screen, brand new in the plastic and everything. It's nice. It's good, double paid. It's a cheapie, but it does the job. There's my extension cord coming in from the neighbor's house, so I have electricity for my nice little electric heater, a little $15 one from Walmart. Does the job in here. It's only 96 square feet, so it heats it up nice and toasty in here. I actually had to open the window this morning because I had the heater on high, and I was getting too fucking warm in here. Let me get off the bed here and walk around. I got some of the indoor-outdoor carpeting. I built this bed frame out of pallet wood as well. Gives me a lot of storage underneath. I know it kind of cramps it up in here a little bit. You can't see into the bed too well, but the bed cramping it up in here so much, I had to make as much storage underneath that as possible. I have my little clothes hanging rack. A couple of chairs I found outside. Still got stuff scattered all over the place. It's not really the cleanest. It's kind of messy in here, but it's a work in progress. As you can see, I fit my queen size mattress in here, no problem. It is 12 by 8 altogether. For the exterior, I actually use, let me throw my boots on. For the exterior, I actually use this awesome stuff that they had at Lowe's. It's kind of a seasonal item, but it's OSB, but it's covered in Realtree camo vinyl. So as you can see, it's just regular strand board. But it was really cheap, and I got it on sale on top of that. Talked the guy down because they had a couple of ding corners and stuff like that. It's not the most ideal thing, but it was really cheap, and cheap was kind of the name of the game here. Just did a regular shed roof, just a slant roof, nothing fancy. Let's go around real quick here. Built the door. Got my little work table over here. A little snow in my boot, that's awesome. But, it is what it is. I think if I had to make an honest judgment here, I'd say at the moment, I have probably about $600 into this thing altogether. Thank God for pallets, because that price tag would be a little bit more expensive. But built it all 24 on center, so I cheaped out a little bit there too to make a little bit more room for the budget. Initially my budget I wanted it to be like around $500, but because of some aesthetics and things like that, it ended up being a little bit more than $500. Let's see here. But it's quite cozy in here, though. Now, because of this, my total expenses for everything, for what I get off the neighbors and everything, is about $100 a month. But that gets me access to shower, washing machine, electricity. Got that little lamp over there from Walmart for like $12. Couldn't pass it up. It's got a little reading light, so I can kind of steer that thing around anywhere, but it lights it up just fine in here. Just recently got the bed in here, so everything's nice and cozy. My lady didn't really want to spend too much time out here sleeping on cots and stuff, so I had to step my game up a little bit. But as you can see, it's far from perfect. There's some gaps here and there. I built it on kind of wetland. I actually put it up on those handy blocks that you get from Lowe's. They're about $6.50 a piece, but they're awesome. It's a really quick and easy foundation system, as opposed to digging a hole and pouring concrete and then putting a post in. I like them. I put it up on 9 of them, so it didn't cost. It was like $75 for 9 of them, I want to say, after tax and everything. And you got it up off the ground because the ground's really wet back here, but I did try to find the driest spot I could. So that's pretty much it. My tiny little pallet shelter, mini pallet cabin, whatever you want to call it. Did it on the cheap. Gonna do a few other things. I'm gonna build a little pallet table over there in front of that window, so I can set up my coffee pot and my hot plate and all that good stuff, so I can cook in front of the window and not be hunkered down in the corner without some natural light flowing in there, like putting the table over there. But the carpet's nice. It's cheap. It's thin. It adds to the insulation because I didn't insulate the floor. And I don't have any skirting on the side right now, so the wind can kind of, come in and do its thing and dry things out, but at the same time makes it kind of cool in here. So, but I didn't build it very tall. I think on this short wall over here, it's about 6 foot, and then it's about almost 8 foot up there. It's like 7'9" or something like that. So I can fully stretch out in here. I'm only 5'8". The door is like 5'8" or something like that. I think I actually bumped my head on it for the first time last night. So you kind of have to duck the head a little bit coming in, and if you're a tall person, you definitely got to duck the head a little bit. But you come out here. This is actually had an old shelter here. Let's see if you can see that handy. There's a handy block right there. There's one of them covered in sawdust. There's another one. Literally just did 3 rows of 3. Didn't need a whole lot. It's not going to be terribly heavy in here. Weight being one of the concerns. That's why I did the 24-inch center. Use a little bit less lumber, but just use mostly, just regular 2x4s that I pulled off of pallets. And then I used the big, thick things for the rafters. But this is pretty much it. It's my little pride and joy. I'm not, it's not beautiful, but I'm proud of it. It's mine. I built it all with a little bit of help from my brothers. When I needed a little bit of a hand. The roofing, and just used actually covered the whole thing in ice and water, and then used the roll-on roofing for the shingling. The roll-on roofing my brother just had, he found on the side of the road, and we kind of just repurposed that. So I mean, it'd probably be a little bit longer lived if I use brand new everything, but at the same time, like I said, cheap was the goal here. And it's far from being finished. Well, not far from being finished, but it's come a long way. But it's still got some finishing touches to have around here. As you can see, I still got to finish spraying a little foam up there. Probably going to build another shelf above the doorway up there, just to try to get some more storage in here. Because when I first started building it, before I had the paneling in there, I had tons of shelves. I could just use all the spacers for shelves, and putting out the paneling eliminated a lot of that. So I'm like, oh my god, storage just disappeared for me. So I got to put up some shelves and some things like that. But It's gonna be nice out here. I'm gonna get like one of those little 3-in-1 breakfast stations with the hot plate and the coffee pot and a little toaster oven in there. And it's not really made to have house parties in here. It's my little bunk cabin. You know, I'm tired of paying rent and high rent, especially here in New York. Rent's really ridiculous. I mean, we're like the second most expensive state to live in besides California, and really for no reason, because as you can see, there's snow outside. It's kind of, you know, at least California's warm and stuff. It's kind of frigid out here in New York. I mean, our winter hasn't been too bad so far, but definitely I got some Tough Techs. I found it on clearance for like $8 a sheet at Lowe's. So I'm gonna build a little awning right out here in front. To cover up the doorway and the window, because I'm having a little bit of a moisture issue in the front when it rains. I don't really want to ruin the door frame or, you know, any of the little bit of the door frame down there at the bottom. And then I'm going to use the scrap left over and build just a short little awning over this window right here, although I'm not really having any moisture problems with this window. Because right outside this window I have a lot of natural cover and thicket that actually comes up here, and it fills in real nice in the summertime, so you really don't have to worry about rain on that part. But yeah, that's it. So anybody that says it's impossible to build a tiny camper or a tiny cabin or a tiny house or a bunk cabin or anything, anybody that says it's impossible to build it for $500, it's really possible. I splurged on a few extra things to try to you know, bring it up a little bit aesthetically, and, you know, a couple of things just to save some time because I was fighting the winter. It's getting really cold outside, so I had to just, you know, buy a few things and just get it done. Otherwise, I probably would have just did slat board on the inside and, you know, just did like a real full timber cabin type of deal. But anyways, yeah, like I said, anybody says it's impossible to do it for 500 or less or under 1,000 or whatever, it's nonsense. It can totally be done. You just have to have the time to rip apart pallets and denail them and everything like that. That takes time. So what you're saving in money, you're spending in time, and if that's a good compromise for you, then by all means do it. We're surrounded by a lot of warehouses out here, so pallets are just like laying around everywhere. You know, and I'll have an update when it's all said and done. I got a couple other things I'm going to throw in here, but you know, it's looking pretty good in here. I've been staying in here for a few weeks now. It's got, you know, now I don't have to lug my tools back and forth from the main house out back here. And it's nice and warm and dry, and my lady stayed here last night, so it must not be too bad for Princess and the Pea. But anyways, guys, there it is. If you like it, drop me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment, something. But yeah, here it is. Dan Kumanali out.